everybody, and thank you for joining me to another thrilling episode of This Week in Real Estate. And if you religiously watch these, you'll notice that I didn't do one last week. So I have a kind of set time I like to do these throughout the week, and had some fires kind of come up that we had to put out and just ran out of time the day I had blocked for it. So it happens, and so we will move on. And then obviously this is a short week for Thanksgiving, and so doing this just a little bit early, but we're going to cover 2 weeks, so thank you for hanging in there. So to the market report, so within the 2 weeks, hardly anything has changed as far as what's on the market, what's going pending. And so Delaware County has about 159 active listings with 107 pending listings, and there's hardly any variation there. And then Randolph County is the same way, so 33 active with 29 pending. Obviously there's movement within all that, but as far as just a quick snapshot, really nothing changed. So on to the good, the bad, and the ugly. So a lot of good things over the last week, 2 weeks, week and a half, whatever it is. And so on the auction side of things, Wagner's has, I think the Facebook post the other day was they had $6.2 million in farm ground sales over like the past week and a half or so. So those are growing really well. And then, per acre prices are a little bit crazy still. And so that hasn't changed at all, and it's kind of ramped up a bit. And I was also lucky enough to get some farm ground pending with a client of mine over that time as well, so that was good. And another pending for a buyer was over in Anderson, and we actually just got the inspection report back today, so we're negotiating that. And also in Anderson, so we made kind of a day out of it, looking at a few homes, and had a cool surprise in a home. So you pull up to this home in this neighborhood, and it's very lovely looking home as you pull up to it. And then as you make your way to the back, I'll throw the picture up, you walk into this basically performance hall. And so really cool. You just never know what you're going to find when you go out looking at these homes. So it was pretty fun to see something like that. You don't see it every day, and it was pretty awesome. So, and then also got a home in Red Key pending. So we that one's been on the market a little while, but finally able to get that pending, and so then we start the process after that. And on the personal side of things, so Historic Farmland USA, we had our annual free breakfast for veterans on Veterans Day. So that was fun. I didn't really help cook, but I helped serve a little bit, so that was fun. And then also in that realm, I'll be stepping into the president's role over there for 2023. And I'm already going to say preemptive thank you for everybody involved in that. So because I said, hey, for me to take over this role, I'm going to need a ton of help. So there's tons of things that I don't have my thumb on when it comes to that. Grant writing, from grant writing to day-to-day to what was the other thing the other day? Business entity reports, things in that realm. I don't have direct involvement in yet, so I'm really leaning on everybody else to help me through that, and I think they will. So they've already started, so really appreciate that. And last night, so we had, I had this idea a few years ago, and then COVID hit, and obviously we weren't getting together at that time, but more of a client appreciation get-together party. I didn't know what that would look like, but again, COVID hit, and it didn't look like anything. And so part of my annual pie giveaway, we kind of wrapped everything into one, and had sent out invites, and had dinner made for everybody, and pies to pick up if they wanted to, and they could stay for dinner or not. It didn't really matter, whatever their schedule allowed. And then had donations accepted for Secret Families in Randolph County. And so we did that at the community center last night. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of kids running around acting crazy, which was good to see and to hear, and nothing got broke or anything, so that was nice. But it was fun seeing everybody out last night, and really looking forward to doing that again next year, so that'll be a good thing. And then also personal side of things, went to a concert, Dave Matthews concert in Dayton on Wednesday. It was an indoor concert, obviously because it was like 20 some degrees, but first indoor concert for me for them. And so it was it was different, but it was still good. And then I guess if you just want to switch, the bad part was the drive home. We had snow come in, and it was kind of hairy there for a little bit. So, but got home safely and recuperated, and that was really fun. And then also was lucky enough to get a deer on opening weekend, and had Solomon with me at the time. And so he did really well, and didn't shy away from any part of that. And so we got some meat in the freezer, so that's what we go for. So it was great. If you move on to the bad, kind of in the same vein, it was really surprising this year. Like, the deer processing plants around here have been swamped, and I'm not sure. I think it's a combination, personally, is that there's probably less processing plants out there now and more people hunting all at the same time. So it's been a little crazy to actually get your deer in, if you don't want to do it yourself, to get all that processed and made into, you know, whatever you want, hamburgers or steaks or summer sausage or other sausage, anything like that. So it's been, we got ours back within a week, but the actual drop off, and I've heard everywhere and seen on Facebook, you know, everybody, they're only open a couple hours a day and then they're full. So that's been kind of crazy, kind of different from years past. But in the end, if you don't want to do that, or you can't do that, you know, you can process things like that at home. I wouldn't say easily per se if it's your first time, but you can. I mean, you'll learn as you go through it. And then we had speaking of bad, we had two listings that were pending last week that fell apart, and they both they went south in a hurry. And one was okay. So when you go get your inspection report, you know, there's going to be tons of pictures of everything that's wrong. There's always something wrong, even in new construction. But what the inspectors usually say, hey, here is an issue. Let's say it's a crack in a drywall, and it'll say, a good idea to get a qualified contractor to come, really check it out. All inspectors say it because they're a general home inspector, and they don't want to presume that they know everything about that particular situation. So if you want more information, they're suggesting that you go to an electrician, a roofer, whatever it is. And that's pretty basic in all the reports. So this particular one, I'll be honest, I'm biased. I'm on the seller side so I'm a listing agent, but they had, as their initial round of inspectors, 4 separate inspections of different things. And then once that report came back and it said, hey, you may want to get further evaluation from whatever, they wanted, 4 or 5 different professionals to come out and look at what the inspector said was wrong in the first place. And the seller said, okay, I don't agree with that, but yeah, we'll let them do that. And then in the end, the buyer just said, no, it's just, it's just too much. It's too much. And between you and I, everybody in Facebook land, it wasn't anything different that we see on a normal basis as far as inspection reports and what's wrong with homes. And so it wasn't anything major that couldn't be fixed. It wasn't, in my opinion, overwhelming, but for these particular buyers, they were, and they took off, and it was just kind of a strange process to get to that point. It's like, oh my gosh, you did all these inspections, and you spent, I'll be honest, a ton of money to do that, and then just to walk away. And so, in my opinion, it's going to be really hard pressed for them to find any home up to that standard of like absolutely nothing wrong. Like I said, even new constructions can be, issues with those. So good luck to them. We cut them loose. We got it back on the market, had a good showing the other day, so we'll see. And then the other one was equally as strange, but for totally different reasons. So we accepted an offer, and it was after acceptance, they said, oh, by the way, we forgot to put that we wanted a certain couple things that were in the home to be included. Seller says, hey, no problem, go ahead. And then, oh, by the way, we actually need our closing costs covered. And seller says, well, we negotiated off our price. If you want your closing costs covered, we can just add that amount to the sales price, and so it'll be all the same for us, and that's what we'll do. And the buyer just said no. So I don't know how that was how all that came to be, as far as if they forgot they needed closing cost assistance, or maybe they thought they could, I don't know, put one over on us or the seller. Oh, here's our offer. Oh, by the way, we need, $5,000 in assistance. I really don't know, but the end result is that they're not buying the house now, and we're keeping their earnest money. So, just a strange couple things happening in the same week, kind of back to back, but in totally different reasons and situations. So, whatever, we will move on, and we'll get somebody else in that home. So the ugly, other than some kind of testy emails about both of those situations, no, nothing terribly ugly this past week. So that's always good. And then coming up, so obviously we have Thanksgiving this week, and looking forward to that. A little bit of time off, and I don't know if you can see in the background here, I have some cleaning to do around here. I've just been letting stuff stack up. So I did get the Christmas tree out for last night's event, so that'll need to go up. I got boxes and paperwork to file, so maybe I'll take a half day here on this break to do that. And then also still working on a commercial deal, getting some stuff done, getting some quotes and things like that for that client. Maybe that will come up as a listing here hopefully soon. So hey, 2 weeks, it's a long video. Thank you for checking it out and staying with me. I wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving, safe travels, good food, maybe a nap here and there, which would be wonderful. And so I will see you next time, and I really appreciate you tuning in to these things. And so yeah, happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you later.